Welcome, friends, to episode 15 of the Cube Podcast, a podcast where a gathering of friends weigh in on geek passion topics. Today is July 26th, 2015.
Suffering
And my name is Ben freeBrunch Thomas. Joining me today is Patrick. I didn't have time to think of a nickname because we were messing with Skype and Audacity issues. Figueroa.
That's quite the mouthful there. But hey, guys, what's going on?
That's just what I call you in my spare time.
I don't know about you guys, but having Audacity up is distracting the hell out of me.
Oh, you gotta...
I would click out of the window.
Minimize that ish.
I should, because I feel like it's like Hypnotoad kind of shit. Like I'm just watching my voice go up and down.
You sound like you're in the Sound of Music. Oh, that was classic. In corner number 2 or 3, I don't know what corner we're looking at. Christian C. Monkey Elariaga, what's up, man?
Yo.
So we're having a fiasco today because we are entering.
God, today's such a weird day.
We're entering the concept of local audio recordings in an attempt to get better audio quality. So probably best that I didn't even mention it, so that when we have to abandon it, no one has like any expectation. Yeah, but I can just edit this out. But I mean, I won't do that. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully this is gonna create some like better sounding podcasts.
Hopefully. And then something else will go terribly wrong. Gotcha.
But it took us like 30 minutes to get going today.
Yeah, sure did.
God, is it hot. Alright, well, let's jump into what we did last week. Let's start with Christian this week, because I think we're getting into we need to mix it up.
Alright, I saw something on Reddit where they just like posted a picture of so you've seen Spirited Away, right, Ben?
Like, I no exaggeration, maybe 12 years ago. Because if I saw it in theaters...
Do you remember the character of No Face?
Yes.
How he continuously just kept eating everything?
I remember having nightmares about No Face.
So there was a picture where they're like, how Chrome feels when you have free RAM, and they just posted like the Chrome icon over No Face's mask. And then I was like, now I need to watch Spirited Away again.
It's funny that you say that, because when I was having trouble with my Chrome, I was Googling things, and they were talking about how memory and cache hungry browsers are.
Yeah, my friend told me he had to go upgrade his RAM just to like use Chrome.
Yeah.
Like just because he wants like more free RAM when he's running Chrome.
Because if you have any free RAM, Chrome will find it, and Chrome will eat it.
Like No Face.
Yeah.
So
like
wait, so you did watch it again?
I did.
So what year do we know what year that came out?
Oh God,
2006.
Was it only 06?
No, I'm thinking
it's
like
2006.
Is it really 2006?
Yeah,
I feel like it was so much
maybe
earlier than
2004. I'm googling it right now.
I'm gonna guess 2001.
Shit, you're right. 2001.
Oh,
Ben is.
that was awesome.
I don't know why I thought 2006.
Yeah, because there's. I don't know. I felt like it was much earlier than that.
I just remember being
so
so
it's
young when I saw it. Like I remember just being like a kid, and I remember that movie really fucking me up for whatever reason.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
These movies are pretty scary.
Yeah, they can be.
They can be.
Let's see. What else did I do? I got into this really awesome text-based game on the iOS called Lifeline.
What do you mean you got... Oh, okay, never mind. So you made it sound like it was like a speak prohibition, like you got like the secret password and...
Oh, no. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be way cooler.
Yeah, I wish. No, it's really cool, and essentially it's just one of those text-based pick-your-own-adventure games where you play the role of just, I guess, somebody in a comms unit, and you pick up this frequency from an astronaut who crashed on a planet, and essentially they ask you for what they should do, and you have conversations with that person. But they space it out in such a way that you can't continuously just make choices. Like, the astronaut that you're talking to has, like, big gaps when they say, you know, hey, I gotta go bust through this door, I need to find a tool to do it with, I'll, like, you know, get back to you.
Talk to you later.
So you wait, and, like, it gets to a point, like, admittedly, I've probably killed this astronaut maybe 3 times already.
Nah.
Yeah.
Start the game.
Nah.
It sounds like a Tamagotchi.
Kind of, sort of. But it just, like, it kind of gets you emotionally invested because you do have conversations with them where you talk back and forth in the series, and it's just really interesting, and it gets you really, and this is why I picked the topic, actually, immersive games, because I actually had some kind of emotional investment
Yeah.
this astronaut and getting them to live by the time I actually completed the game, where I was just like, yes, finally, you're not dead.
I'm
Yeah.
like genuinely blown away right now. Like that sounds
Yeah, this is
amazing.
really cool.
Like normally we talk about shit and it's like, oh, that shit's so cool, but this is like actually like a hidden gem. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it free?
I just picked it up, and no, it was like $1, but it was recommended on like the subreddit for iOS games a while back, and I just found out about it, and it's top rated too.
Yeah.
So
I
it was
mean-
just interesting.
I'm happy to pay $1 for an iOS game. Like I feel so many people refuse to pay a single cent for apps on their phone, and I think that mindset is kind of weird because I don't know how it kind of came about. I guess it's just that there are a lot of free games that are good, but I think if people kind of didn't have like a stigma about paying for apps, we might have more legit apps.
I think to me, I'm a lot less frugal about it because I look at Steam sales and I'm like, well, I drop a lot more during Steam sales, so
Yeah.
me spending $1 on this game probably isn't the worst thing I could do.
It sounds
And it sounds really good.
fascinating.
So, I mean, I actually burned the last 3 days kind of waiting for text back from that astronaut and then texting back and forth. Because, it's just cool when you get that notification. You're like, oh my God, are they okay?
Yeah.
It's just a notification saying, oh yeah, the astronaut's waiting for you to respond. Like, oh shit.
You can
Oh.
feel like Ed Harris in Apollo 13.
Right.
I'd
Yeah.
like to see like an online element of that game where you and like me and the three of us would try to save the astronaut, and we could be like, okay, you got us back this afternoon because I can take it this tomorrow morning, and
Right.
Yeah.
that would be
It's like
interesting
shift
as well.
work.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Well,
So-
Ian already does that for a living.
The plot thickens.
But yeah, what else? Elevate, which is like one of those really cool brain teaser games. It's free to download as well on the iOS, and it's just a whole bunch of kind of puzzle games that are, it's just one of those.
Is
Kind
that
of like,
Brain Age?
yeah, or what is the other game? Cranium?
Oh,
Something
that's the
like that.
board game, Cranium.
It's just a little bit like brain teasers.
Brain
Well,
Quest.
Cranium is more about how much you know. Yeah, Brain Quest is probably more what I'm thinking of.
Cranium's like trivia, right?
Yeah.
It's like trivia, Scrabble, and Pictionary.
Pictionary.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So there's that. I got into that, and then obviously the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was dropped,
Mhm.
so I had to get into that.
Do you play that by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh
and
my gosh.
So I must say that the fourth one is so much more terrifying to me than the other three combined.
I'm getting stressed out.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because so for the other three games, you play somebody who's like, you kind of get into the mindset of being that person. You're an adult in a factory or whatever, a haunted house, you're in a fast food chain place, and these things are trying to kill you. What the fourth one does, and I suppose it's not a spoiler because you learn it from the get-go, you play a child
Oh, great.
in their bedroom
There's
Mhm.
nothing sacred.
with
Noth-
2 doors leading into it,
Oh my gosh.
closet behind you, and then the bed, where are like the various places they can come out of. But you don't have any way to save yourself, really, like you did in the other Five Nights at Freddy's. Like the first one, you were able to close the doors. The second one, you could put on the mask or whatever. Here, you only have the option of closing the door and waiting for them to hear like the footsteps of them walking away.
Oh man.
So, and I mean, the thing about it is, like, it's not just the doors you have to watch out for, it's also the closet directly behind you.
Yeah.
And the camera actually turns when you do this stuff. It's not like that weird
like,
instant,
yeah.
like camera flash kind of thing.
There's a sense of dread as you scan across.
So when you go to like a closet or something, you can actually see, or not really see, but you can get the feeling that the kid is running towards the door. And you're trying to like seal it because you hear something on the other side, like breathing.
Yeah.
And it is
oh
absolutely
my
terrible.
gosh.
That's I enjoy horror movies and horror games, just not by myself. I don't really know why that is. Like something about the energy of like having other people there makes me enjoy it more. When I'm by myself, I just like the like fear actually seeps in.
Yeah.
Have you?
And I think when you're playing as a group, it feels more like the fear gets dispersed
Yeah.
among all of you because you kind of have that support group to fall back on. Where
Yes.
you're like, okay, I'm not alone here.
For sure. You guys know
I
how
played it in the middle of the night by myself.
Oh my. You're a bigger man than I am.
And actually, it irritated the crap out of me because there were kids outside playing with firecrackers. And when those would go off, I would jump.
Yeah.
I have no shame admitting that.
Have you guys heard about how Five Nights at Freddy's like came to be?
No.
So I heard the story on Jim Sterling podcast. So Jimquisition, which I really enjoy. And so essentially the creator, it's one guy. I don't know if he probably has
something or other.
Yeah, he could have a team now, but the first thing he made was a kids game.
Right.
And he got like lambasted by critics saying like what are you doing? Like this is creepy. Like how did you make such a weird, creepy, like this is not kids thing. This has a really weird vibe to it. And apparently he was like really like upset about it for a while. Like he took it really hard. And then like at some point he was just like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to embrace it. And he just like essentially turned a kids game into a horror game just because a bunch of like critics kind of like told him that he did a really bad job at making a kids game. It's like a cool like success story of just like taking criticism and taking something and looking at the bright side.
And I think one of the other cool things is you can see his development from the past year because Five Nights at Freddy's is only a year old.
That's nuts. How did he make? Like so fast he's putting those games out. And
it's just cool to see the way he's developed his style as you go through the games. Because the first one, it's very static, nothing really moves. Mm-hmm. Up to this game, where literally everything moves and everything's kind of three-dimensional. There aren't any more 2D shapes in there. And it's just so much more of, like, again, we're going back to it, that immersive experience. We're just like, oh God, if I were this kid, I would just like crawl under the bed and wait to die because I couldn't handle this. I wonder when it'll stop, like when the train will stop. Well, supposedly this is the last game. Yeah.
I thought they said that for the other games. I don't know. I don't keep up with these games.
It's up to the developer. The developer can say whatever the hell they want. And
I mean, he's rolling in it. Those games have been so successful.
So that's about me for the past week.
Nice. I want to check out Lifeline for sure. Yeah. That was the game, the text-based game. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool. How about you, Patrick?
I haven't been doing much. I've been more consumed with gotten pretty heavy back into League.
Nice.
Like very heavy. So
Ben's just sitting there like,
yes. The ups and downs are it's very similar to how I felt about it in college.
Let the toxic flow through you.
Yeah, go home, roll the dice, and I don't really know if I'm going to have a shitty rest of the night or not. So.
It's really like playing a game of Russian roulette because if you have crappy teammates, you're losing the game. Like, I feel like that's...
What really sparked it is I've got coworkers that play it.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing with them, and then like I'm probably 50, maybe 60, 40, playing with coworkers and solo queuing. So it's been a lot of fun, just like at work, talking about the game before or getting on Skype with them and playing it up.
I think to me it's one of those games that I can never play solo. Like, if I'm playing League, it has to be with a pre-made. Because there's no way I'm going to have fun with it otherwise.
Yeah.
I have not played solo in a long time, but I did enjoy it when I did do it. I don't know. I might get back into it.
I mean, the rush is still there. Like, the reason like you played the first time, you know, there's 55-minute games when you're base racing and, you know, you're super fed. Like, there's no thrill like it.
Yeah.
So
I guess the rush is good, but like I get a rush from a lot of the games I play. Like, to me, League is the complexity. Like I think what you're kind of referring to is how good it feels to win, and I think it like because you conquered like a huge 50-minute I guess battle, but it's like more than that. Like it's the accumulation of, well, for me it's like the rush, the study, the practice, the hours, the team, like working with your team because you have to work with your team. Like there's something about that game that is the pinnacle of achievement in terms of competition, which is why the esport is so big.
Right.
And the last day of LCS is today, and there's 5 people currently in the running for first place on the very last day. They can have, there's a possibility that there could be 7 playoff matches. So there's 5 games today. They could end up playing 12 games today if it all works out, like, so that there's a bunch of ties, which is so exciting. It's been such an awesome season of LCS.
For sure.
Great split.
Like, you could have, like, 5 of the 10 teams can come in first place after today. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's 4. I think it's 4. Well, I think there's a chance that, like, for the 5th person to come in first, the top 4 would have to lose today, which is just super unlikely, but it could happen.
Still possible.
It is
unlikely,
still,
but possible.
Yeah. And then they would have to win the tiebreaker against all 5 would have to do a bunch of, oh my gosh. It's crazy.
And that's the thing about it, like, it just, I don't know how they don't get absolutely, like, drained.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of all that.
They got a short, I feel like, professional gamers kind of burn out too. Like, they have short careers.
No, especially compared to, like, other sports.
Yeah.
To say, like, some of them have only been for, a season or so.
Yeah.
The game's only been around for 4 or 5 years, so it's hard to, like, talk about the turnaround.
Well, I feel like,
I mean, when you're comparing it to, like, football, when they've got, like, I don't know how long their careers are, but...
Well, actually, I think it's a little strange to me that the league scene is just looking that way as it is right now, because if you look at the StarCraft scene, some of those professionals have been there for years.
Yeah, but those are all Koreans, though. Like, the ones that have been there for years are Koreans, and I don't know if that has to do with work ethic, but the point I was going to make was that with football or a real sport, you can't physically practice for football for 12 hours a day. You need recovery time. You need to eat.
True.
Like, you need to travel to where you're going to practice. You need your teammates at a field. Like, with League of Legends, they're expecting these pros to play for 8 to 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. And because that's whoever's going to be the one that works the hardest is going to be the one that's the best. But in terms of, like, a real sport, it's kind of built in that to me, it sounds harder to burn out. Because you still have to, like, you work out for 2 hours a day. You might practice with your team for a couple hours, but your body gets actually spent. Like, that recovery time is just as important as the practice time. But with something like League of Legends, they can just drive these kids, like, on their keyboards. I mean, just full tilt 24/7.
Yeah, which is really bad, in my opinion.
I would not want to be a professional gamer.
No.
That and, like, the community can, like, turn on you in an instant. Like, it's an ugly community.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it that was just put on
Blast? Zhao Zhao?
Yeah.
He gone.
It's illegal. Just doing some illegal stuff. But
illegal in terms of not criminal.
He didn't rob a store or anything, but
no, he was just taking.
He's taking money where he shouldn't have been taking money.
Yeah. When you're under he's breaking his contract with Riot Games. Because I could totally pay you to ladder for me, Patrick.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're gonna get me to silver.
I can get you to bronze 1 and then let you climb your way out.
What? Get me at least to silver.
It depends.
Just play Diana.
It depends.
Alright, cool. I played poker last night.
Interesting.
Texas Hold'em.
Nice.
I sucked. These guys, like, really knew what they were doing. You were into poker for a time, right, Patrick?
I mean, it's probably as much as any, like, high schooler that just, like, wanted to play poker. I wouldn't say I was good or anything, but
I didn't realize, like, these guys play a lot, and but I really didn't think that it was going to translate to anything.
Outplay?
Yeah, but I mean, I got just worked, and then I kind of was starting to talk to them as they kept playing, and they started to explain the odds to me. They're like, well, I know if you have a pocket pair and I have 2 higher cards before the flop, I have a 47% chance of winning the hand. And then, like, they understood a great deal about where their location on the table, informed what type of betting decisions they should make. They understood when to check, like, to make your opponent think that you had nothing, and then, like, because they were, like, reading each other in a way that I thought was only kind of for people who played poker for money, but well, we were playing for money. Well, I shouldn't say that. We were not playing for money. And then like it was impressive, so that was cool. Played some Rocket League, a lot of Rocket League actually. I recorded some footage and then I played it when I lost the poker tournament with everyone else that got eliminated. And then I'm like 21 episodes deep in Attack on Titan.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Finishing strong.
It's so good.
And the ride don't stop.
Damn. I think there was like 26 episodes or something. 20.
Give or take.
So I'm getting there.
And there is going to be another season.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been announced, but
I feel like
it's getting big.
They definitely have a lot to tie up in the next 5 episodes, so I'm interested to see how they do that. I was talking with Patrick, and he was saying that was one of the better anime he's ever seen. I'm interested to see if, like, when I try a second anime, if I just can't get into it. But I really like the 22-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Which is really stupid because I feel like I'm not watching Orange is the New Black because I never want to commit, like, an hour. But then I'll watch, like, 2 hours of Attack on Titan.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can't...
That's the same backwards idea with like, I don't want to watch a movie.
Yeah.
It's because it's 2 hours, and then I end up watching 3 episodes or 4 episodes of a 1 hour show. And it's
And I used to give you shit for that all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the same thing.
It's great.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying it. I have a lot of stuff that I really want to play right now. I really want to play. I bought Journey. So I'm going to get a night. I'm going to be able to play that in a night. And I want to play...
Yeah.
I got XCOM, I got Her Story, and I got to get Batman. I'm really struggling. I'm really pissed off. I have a bunch of vacation days, and I might just take like 2 of them and just play games.
That's the problem. As I've been playing League, all my other stuff is dropping off.
Yeah.
Like I want to play Bastion. I want to play...
Oh god, Bastion.
Yeah.
Bastion was like $4 last week, so I picked it. I scooped it.
Dude, I think it was $250.
Or it was $375.
Oh, was it $375? Okay.
It was $375 on PlayStation.
Yeah, I also scooped it up.
So I was like, this is way... I love Transistor. I was like, Bastion should also be good. But
it's like in college when they said you can have good grades, a social life, and sleep, and you can only pick 2. It's like you could have League of Legends, or everything else. Pick 1.
Yeah. God, dude.
That's funny.
All in the name of climbing.
All in the name of climbing. Okay, so
let's get to the news.
The news this week. We have one news this week, and that's that Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, the sequel to the reboot that happened about, I think 2013 was when it came out, and then it got redone for the new consoles.
Edition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So originally it was very cryptic on... everyone knew it was a timed exclusive on the Xbox One, but it was very cryptic on how long that time was, or was Microsoft just going to outright buy it after they got the response from announcing the timed exclusive. So they announced this week that it would come out 1 year from the Xbox release date. So right now that is set for November 10th. Now there's rumors that that's going to get delayed because they don't want it to come out the same day as Fallout 4, which I don't blame them. But we'll see. So essentially, holiday next season, PlayStation users should be able to play Tomb Raider. I'm curious how much Xbox paid for that. I'm curious if it'll pay off. I think that it sucks for PlayStation users or owners that Uncharted didn't come out this holiday season because there's like nothing to scratch that itch. So I think Microsoft was very pumped that Tomb Raider was able to... They were able to use that time exclusive to have a presence in a space that
the
PlayStation doesn't currently have that unlock. So, and then of course, sorry Christian, I left you out. It is coming out for PC early 2016.
I don't know how I feel about the Tomb Raider games. I'm more excited for the Uncharted series, even though that's still staying, you know, local.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think you'd play it.
Something about those games is just way more interesting to me, I guess. I like the characters, I guess, better than I would like if it Tomb Raider series.
Yeah, I'm waiting for... I don't know. I'm, like, because I don't have time right now. Like, I don't need to, like, pick it up and let it sit on my shelf. Because I think if I did buy it, I would play it, but I don't need to play it right now. Like, I could totally wait till 2016, and maybe it'll like pop up on PlayStation Plus. Who knows? I could totally
more
wait
than
for
likely
that.
it will,
So.
to be honest, because you have a whole bunch of like AAA games that show up on.
Yeah, especially after a couple of years, they'll start
You're talking about
slowly.
the original
the
Tomb
first
Raider.
one,
Okay,
first
yeah.
definitive, and then
Yeah.
maybe catch up later. I'm not particularly affected because I'm not invested, but I mean, I'd like to be. I could play Lara Croft.
I feel like it's also a little, I don't know, it kind of is nostalgic in a way because Lara Croft was one of those original game heroines.
right. I mean, I
So
never
it's just-
played any of her old games, but
Yeah, the original Tomb Raiders.
Yeah.
Hard
Yeah.
as shit. Those controls sucked.
Yeah. I guess if I were to sell Tomb Raider on someone, I would say I wouldn't sell it necessarily on it being something that they're interested in or it being a character that they're particularly fascinated with. I would sell that game on it being a really fucking good game. It was just, I think that people don't realize they think that game was a big deal because Tomb Raider is such a big franchise and it got rebooted. And that's not the case at all. Like that happens with Sonic, that happens with Castlevania. Like a lot of these games feature big names and the reboots don't get this kind of attention that the new
deliver.
Tomb Raider
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
And that is because that Tomb Raider reboot by Crystal Dynamics was it was a game of the year quality game. I had no interest in Tomb Raider. I never even played Uncharted, but when I played that game, I just knew that I was playing one of the better games that came out that year. It was I would sell it just on word of mouth hype, not necessarily is this game for me or not. But I'm not really saying whether you should play or not. I'm just saying I wanted to kind of point out that game was such a big deal because of the quality of the first game, not necessarily that, oh, it's the next Tomb Raider. I think people are just excited to see how they move with the story. Because she killed so many people in that first game, and the rumor is that the second game is going to have her suffering from some like
PTSD.
some actual emotional ramifications of that, which never happens in video games.
I remember like the trailers. It was like a year or two ago. Like it was like a CG trailer where she was like sitting in a psychiatrist's office and she was being questioned, like just like I don't know what happened out there or whatever. But no, it sounds interesting, and I like
Especially
so
compared
many
to like
games
right. Compared to your other games, like if I'm just trying to make a comparison here, you have somebody who, like, let's take Shepard for instance. I never felt like he really suffered the consequences. He or she, let me correct that, suffered from any of the consequences really emotionally that they made throughout the course of all three games.
Yeah.
Depends on who you let die.
I mean, that's why
But
everyone...
even if you let somebody die, like you as a player can have that emotional effect, but Shepard isn't really ever affected by it because Shepard just kind of keeps trucking.
Wasn't that the main
Shepard's got a
criticism?
fucking galaxy to save, bro. You ain't got time for that shit.
Wasn't that like the main criticism of that game, though, that the decisions you made didn't come back in the way that people really wanted them to?
Right. I suppose
No,
that could be
it's
part
very
of it.
true.
And I mean, looking back on it, like I love the Mass Effect games and I will always love the Mass Effect games because of what they gave me. But, you know, looking at it or trying to look at it as objectively as I can right now, in comparison to games like, I guess, Tomb Raider now, your character doesn't actually suffer as much as they should.
I mean, I would venture to say that no games do that. Like, not just Shepard, but like, I mean, can you imagine Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War in the second game being like, oh, I chainsawed too many aliens, or like Master Chief kind of like dwelling on, fallen comrades, or, I'm sorry, I'm just naming Xbox properties, but.
But isn't that what this whole new game is supposed to be about? Granted, I don't really know much
mean, we
about the
don't
Halo
know.
lore, but that's what it looked like.
You're right. No, you're right. It is kind of about that, but it's ironic because it's about Cortana, who's not even a real human. But,
right.
But,
as opposed to like the rest of his freaking team,
Yeah,
or every other Spartan that died on Reach.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Anyway, okay, well, so that, I mean, yeah, that's pretty weak news. So, but I thought, I don't know, it was a light.
It's as good as we're gonna get.
I just wanted one piece of news so we could still say that we had a news content. Let's do Christian's topic first this week, because we always force you to the back, Christian. It's time for you to shine.
Step up.
All right, so my topic this week is just on, as I've been going on about, immersive games and what it takes for a game to completely like absorb you into the story. So I guess we'll start with you guys talking about, games that have absolutely just kind of gotten you involved, and, you absolutely hated making the choices that you did, but you had to because you were just like, I got to do it for this guy. Yeah. I guess this is mostly applied to those RPGs, because I don't really think there are any other games where you have to make those kind of really hard-hitting decisions.
Damn. I'll jump in with Telltale is obviously like the front and runner with these kind of immersive games, because the decisions you make in those games, in those story-based games, like the whole point is like those actually do matter, like how people feel about you and stuff like that. So that was like the first part with immersive, because with most, I've only played two of their games. One of them is like you're protecting a child, so that's about as immersive as you could get. Like you feel the father figure to this kid during a zombie apocalypse. And the other one is like you're a sheriff in a fairy tale land, and you've got to deal with all the bullshit bureaucracy of all these selfish and violent fables. But those were very immersive for me.
I should revisit this next week, because I might be trying out an Oculus Rift this evening, because
that's another way.
Yeah,
the VR.
Yeah, our gaming bar is having like a VR night where people can come demo it. So if I try that out, I'm hoping that I can say virtual reality is a big thing that will immerse you into a world. But when you said like, what does it take? The first thing I thought of was voice acting. Like, to me, that's something that has come a lot faster in the last 5 years than maybe the first 10 years of our gaming lives, because I don't really think that people, maybe they didn't try it. Like a lot of the games that we were a kid just had like chirping noises and like Mario going woohoo. Like maybe, I don't know if they just didn't, like gaming studios weren't equipped with the kind of Hollywood equipment that it kind of necessitates to do the sound design and sound engineering that today's games have. But that's the thing that will make or break it for me. If the main character just has a deadpan, like
monotone kind of voice,
or maybe he's overacting. He's like, "Oh, not Martha, she died," and it's like, well, no, you're not in the right scenario to do this, or this isn't in line with the way that you talked about Martha earlier. So that's the fastest thing to take me out of immersion, and it's also when it's done well, like in a Telltale game, because they don't have the same type of game mechanics holding them back. Like they get to put the voice acting front and center because it doesn't detract from the gameplay itself. It's essentially part of the gameplay.
Right. It actually adds to the value.
Exactly. So I would say, what does it take? The first thing I would say is voice acting.
I also want to, I want to add on to that and say that not just voice acting in general, the main character needs to have a personality. Yeah. Because if, you have this really enriching cast of people in your game, but your main character doesn't say anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not going to get you as involved in the main character's story. Like, why would you care? He's just a robot.
That's Fallout, right?
Yeah, that is kind of Fallout.
Burn.
I mean, that's kind of interesting that you say that too, because that kind of brings it back to the importance of lore in games. Like people, it's kind of that little thing like in the back of your mind that is, okay, why am I doing this? Well, there's a lore behind it. Is this where I could go
cough Destiny cough?
Well, no, actually, I was about to go cough Titanfall cough.
Okay.
Cause, I was listening to, the Giant Beast cast. I'm just gonna like call out all these podcasts. Yeah. And,
this is free advertising for them.
Yeah, it really is. I'll tweet at him and get some PayPal or something. And Vinny, he's kind of like he grew up in adventure games, like that. Those are his favorite types of games. Those point and click, kind of story driven.
Like Fandango.
Exactly. Yeah. Which those games are just story and like finding little hints in the environment about the lore or learning little tricks. And he can't get into a game where there's not at least, I guess some bait on the hook, some reason for why you're doing this. And what he says is like a good piece of lore is the most important piece. And something like Titanfall, while the mechanics everyone talks about how hollow that game felt, how it was so polished, but they couldn't quite put their finger on why it was so easy to walk away. And I think that is kind of the importance of lore and a main character that means something. Because I think that nowadays we expect more from our gaming experiences as opposed to just button mashing and moving from one place to another.
Right. I'm going to point out, I've been playing a little bit of, I've been playing I've been playing The Witcher again, basically. And the thing with that game is huge, right? I mean, it's like Skyrim big.
Right.
And so it's a weird game to like talk about story because sometimes, like at least for me with Skyrim, the lore is just like too big for me, right? Because like there's too much going on, too many names,
it's not just that,
places being dropped.
However many games, like you just added that, yeah.
Well,
however many games they had in the Elder Scrolls series before that,
right?
Well, and
right.
That's an important piece too. Is a too big of an open world game break the immersion?
Right.
I think a lot of people are like that.
I think that depends on when you get into it, right? So if you're like just kind of jumping onto it into a part of the series that involves lore from the previous games, then yeah, it's going to break it. But if you started at the very beginning and you've been playing through them as like this series that you're just continuously adding lore onto, then it works the way it's intended.
Right, and that's what I was going to say about world building because, I mean, with Mass Effect, I mean, Christian and I, we understand the racial conflicts between Krogan and Solarians, why it's there, why people get up, when they're talking to each other, they're kind of salty about it. And then you could say the same about Dragon Age, or even Skyrim also, like, elves are they're kind of like a dirty race,
Yeah.
Or even with Witcher. But, I mean, even as I catch up with The Witcher, I am getting more and more involved, and it's interesting when it's that overwhelming, but the story and the missions that they put you in, you get interested in, like, why the humans don't like other races, why there's, like, a resistance of elves. And, like, I'm actually sitting down and, like, reading some of the lore, even in, like, in the codexes, like, people don't always read the codexes, but in a game that, I don't know, it just for some reason puts it so well together that I'm trying very hard. And this is what I had to do for Mass Effect 2 because I didn't play Mass Effect 1. I had to re-involve myself and like really put a lot of effort into catching up with the lore. Mm-hmm. So there are some games that are really well put together that it makes it more immersive because you're trying to build a world around you and you're trying to put puzzle pieces that aren't there. And you get invested basically.
Just good writing. I mean, yeah, like you read those codexes and those side pieces because you read one and you want to read more. And if they weren't good, then you would not read them. And I think too, when we talked about like what maybe makes or breaks, an open world offering an either immersive or distracting experience, I think it does kind of depend on the gamer because someone who's a completionist, someone who loves RPGs, when they open up their map in The Witcher and they see 40,000 question marks for side quests and little collectibles and activities, some people eat that shit up. They're like, I can't wait. Yeah, like I can't wait to start ticking at my percentage completed. I can't wait to like start like equipping my inventory with each missing piece of the puzzle. When I see that, like I clutch my chest. Like I'm like I see all the question marks and side quests, and I'm
then
like,
you get a panic attack because you're like, oh my god, there's so much I haven't done yet.
Yeah, I have yet to find a game where that doesn't where that excites me. I can't think of a game in my entire life. This is actually going to be pretty embarrassing, so hold your seats. I don't think I've ever done a side quest before. Like, really? It's never drawn to me. Like, I've only ever just wanted to crush the main story arc, and that's to me what the meat of the game was, and then I move on to the next experience. I've never been in a world where I've been motivated to do the side. Maybe RuneScape. I probably did some side quests in RuneScape. But, I mean, I haven't played a ton of RPGs, but just for me as a gamer, that's not something that immerses me more content. It's more those tight...
Ben isn't really an MMO gamer.
No.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like something like The Last of Us, that immerses me. When I have one singular goal, like one singular focus that is well and perfectly presented, that will immerse me. But something like an open world, huge, detailed environment is not so immersive. And that's just me as a gamer.
I think when it comes, there's one game in particular where I actually really enjoyed the completionist aspect of it, and that was Guild Wars, because the completion in there depends on how much of the map you've explored.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you open up the map, you see this big bar on your HUD where it says, map completion and how much percent of that you have done.
Yeah.
So I actually really enjoyed it because I like the art style of Guild Wars, and there's so many hidden Easter eggs in every single map that there are still things that people post onto the subreddit that people have never seen before. Just like hidden parts of the environment where it's just like these really cool kind of like, darkly lit places maybe, or these really open plains that you've never actually seen before with maybe some kind of Easter egg or some kind of treasure chest that you can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I like that experience because I like the Guild Wars lore in general. So it's cool seeing all of these places that are tied into specific events that have happened in Guild Wars. And I mean, I think the time difference also is a good couple hundred of years between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2.
And that's very different from a fetch quest too, though. Because every time
Right.
you're seeing, like, by definition, to 100% of that game, like, you're seeing a new thing every percentage point.
Right.
So that's neat. They did that in a really nice way. That's not like chopping at trees to bring your wood to Mr. Alfred and so he can build his house kind of a thing.
And it is for a point because you also get stuff out of it too. Like, completing the map is the only way you can build one of the legendary weapons for Guild Wars 2. So you actually have to complete the map in order for you to get something that's really considered endgame material.
Yeah.
So it's necessary for you to see the landscape. I mean, some people obviously just do it to get the completion and because, they want that weapon. But, if you take the time and you actually really explore it, there are just some really, really cool things and really cool interactions that you'll see.
Very cool.
Cool.
I want to do, or are we okay moving on to the next topic?
Yeah.
I'm going to sandwich my topic between your guys' so that we can kind of...
I was going to recommend that as well.
Yeah, so we don't go games back to back. So my topic this week was kind of spawned by one of my coworkers. He probably hasn't been in the movie theater in like 10 years. So he just doesn't see the point, and I don't blame him. Like, movie theaters are no longer an easy sell because it's like a $13 ticket. The movie is often not as good as what you could have watched on Netflix. People are like smacking their gobstoppers behind you. It's not a very social activity. So he just doesn't enjoy going to the movies. He'd rather just watch movies at home, on the couch with his giant living room TV. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I see where you're coming from, but I fucking love the movie theater. Like, something about the movie theater just clicks with me. Maybe it's nostalgia. Maybe it's like remembering, like, as a kid, smelling I feel like I've talked about this on the podcast before, but, like smelling the popcorn as I walk in, just like seeing, the speakers that you get at a movie theater kind of shake you, which you're not going to really have that unless you have a really nice home theater at home, which I don't think any of us do in our like, previously graduated budgets. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how do you guys like going to the movies? What movies make you make the trip? Do you get popcorn?
I'm going to let Ian handle this one because this is really his forte first.
Yeah, I really like going to the movie theaters. I think it's a whole experience. Like, I could watch a lot of stuff on my computer or on my big screen TV, but like you said, I always buy popcorn. Like, I don't care how much I spent the ticket. There's not many places I'll get that kind of popcorn. And
there's something different about movie theater popcorn, isn't there? I feel like there is.
Yeah, dude.
It's probably a popcorn machine makes better popcorn than microwavable popcorn for sure. Because my dad had a popcorn machine growing up, and that shit was good.
Like the kettle and everything.
Yeah. See, I am still unable to buy popcorn and like snacks at the movie theater because I'm cheap. I get so upset at like $5 for popcorn or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's refillable.
I think it's all part of.
Is that a good or a bad thing, Christian?
I don't know. Maybe if you're watching your carbs.
I'll always take it home. But like, I like to watch. I wouldn't watch like the 2001 Academy Award-winning picture in a movie theater. Like, I wouldn't watch Forrest Gump or anything like that. I would watch something like Jurassic Park or the Avengers or something that is. But you really, like, don't get me wrong. Like, those other artsy movies have great soundtracks and stuff, but I feel like with these
Spectacular.
like, the big blockbuster, these big blockbuster movies, you're supposed to like be in the action, and it doesn't get much better than the surround sound, the gigantic screen.
Have we all seen Jurassic World? Is that a thing?
I haven't seen it
I
yet.
think Ben has.
Damn it!
Sorry.
It's good.
We did talk about it in length, though.
No, because I wanted to like talk about that, and then I realized there were spoilers in there that I'd rather just not.
We can talk about it post podcast because I don't really care about spoilers. Do you guys do the 3D ones?
No, I actually don't. I have a thing against 3D. I do this for some reason.
I hate 3D. Why do we hate 3D? Are we like Scrooges?
I just think because we didn't grow up.
It just gives me a headache.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly.
like my cousins, they'll watch 3D. They'll prefer 3D just because I think they were at that age where they can, like, it's an option and they'll take it. Like, since that wasn't so much an option, unless we're talking the blue and reds.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Like, it's just something. It's just like something that we don't identify with, and like you said, probably Scrooges about it.
Yeah, like my original argument used to be that since it was such a new technology, people weren't doing it well. Like when I saw a 3D movie, they'd be like, "Oh, they spit right in your face," or like they would throw a ball and it would just shoot right at you.
Or like the fist.
Yeah, so like it felt to me like they were creating the movie around the 3D, which detracted from the movie itself. It felt gimmicky, like they were just doing fan service with the 3D. But you can't really say that anymore because like I mean I've seen Avatar in 3D, I've seen Mad Max in 3D, and those were flawlessly crafted 3D experiences. I would still rather see them without 3D, and
standard. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like it's a little bit jarring watching things in 3D, and that sucks. This might be our like first Scrooge thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Ugh.
See, now I'm kind of curious as to how that would work, like when people start developing things in VR, right?
Yeah.
So
that's a weird kind of
3D might be a different concept, but imagine watching like your favorite animated show in
VR.
Via VR.
And that's what they're selling. I mean, the Galaxy Note, they're building into this VR head attachment. I mean, I think it kind of offers what's supposed to be a more immersive thing like 3D, but something tells me VR is very different from 3D.
It was just, I think there's one particular thing that I could think of where I was just thinking about that was another Miyazaki film, My Neighbor Totoro, which was hugely popular. And they recreated one of the more famous scenes in that movie on the Oculus.
Wow.
So you're actually able to walk around the scene and interact with the characters.
Yeah.
And watch the scene play out as if you were actually in the shoes of one of the main characters.
That's really cool.
So that's one of those things where I'm like, are we going to start moving or transitioning that way?
See, but
create.
That sounds appealing to me. Like watching that in 3D does not sound appealing to me. So there's something different there. Like there's something different about maybe it's the unknown. But
I think it's because in 3D you're not actually like in the environment. It's more like a pop-up book.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Whereas in VR you're kind of forced into it just via perspective alone.
Yeah.
Because you see everything as if you were in the environment itself.
Yeah, for sure. And then I also was thinking too, I think part of the reason why it's fun going to the movie theater is it feels like you're seeing the movie before like it's out kind of a thing. Like
there is something about DVD release where you're just like,
it's not as special.
No,
you're not like seeing Jurassic World in that first week, you're kind of part of the party.
Yeah.
Seeing it 6 months from now, there's no party happening for Jurassic World.
And the experience, I mean, I guess that's part of it. The experience is just so much different watching it on big screen and getting the really loud T-Rex to shake your bones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking too, do you guys have any cool movie theater memories? Because I have one in particular that I wouldn't mind sharing.
Trying to
Not
think.
really.
I think for me it would have
first
to be
kiss or anything like that. I'm just kidding.
There are eight times I can think of because Ian and I used to go with a group and we would watch all of the Harry Potter movies like opening week.
Yeah.
See, that's
So
perfect.
That's one of those things. Just like because Ian and I read the books.
Yeah,
I guess everybody.
Yeah.
I read the book. I read the books. Yeah.
Is for me, what I guess that was a good one. I can't believe I forgot about that. This is a group of people. It was like probably 8 or 10 of us. Like I don't get to see those people anymore, and like that was like something we did as kids, and it was that group of people are like very important to us. And it's unfortunate that like they've spread out. I guess I'm also I'm responsible for that.
Yeah, this is your fault. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's kind of my
kind
fault.
of fractured before that, but it's one of those things because those movies came out in a yearly basis, so you could really track just how
You look
much
forward
we've
to
been
it.
with those people because we watched that movie with them from the very first one all the way up to the very last one, which
All the way
is a
to the
span of
end.
8 years.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And did you guys like
Yeah.
those Midnight Harry Potter releases were amazing too. Those were so
Yeah.
much fun.
I don't think they were opening weekend though. It was because everyone
Opening
was super
week, at least.
busy.
Maybe once or twice you did the
I
opening
don't know.
weekend.
Yeah, I don't know because I remember.
I think it was at
even
least
Gina
opening
saying.
No, it wasn't
Gina
opening
was
weekend,
like,
maybe?
"Let's not go opening week." I'm pretty sure I remember her saying that because
Was that one of the things? Because I remember we did watch it fairly soon after it was launched, though.
Yeah,
Not important.
I don't know.
But
Anyways.
so that was just one of those things where you
Mm-hmm.
could trace it back because I still have those ticket stubs actually.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
I do have a collection of ticket stubs in this little like plastic container on my desk where I have all of the different. Like I have one from Paranormal Activity that I could see right in front of me right now. I don't know what else I can see on here, but yeah, there's a lot.
My good one is 2002. So I was 10 years old. I guess that must have been 6th grade, 5th grade. I went to bed. It was like a Thursday night, of course. Around like 11:15, my dad like shakes me awake and he's like fully dressed and he's like, "Hey, are you ready?" And I was like, "What? Like, what the fuck's going on?" And he's like, I didn't actually say that. I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And, he's like, "We're going to see Two Towers." And we went to go see
nice.
Lord of the Rings, Two Towers at midnight, like totally surprised. Like all the hardcore Lord of the Rings people were there in like the middle of the night.
Holy shit.
Like I'd never seen a midnight movie before. I'd never like done something like that like on a school night. It was like so memorable. It was such a special experience. And the
That's
next
awesome.
And that movie is epic as fuck.
Yes.
Dude. The Helm's Deep fight.
yes.
You can just like I can hear the rain in the movie theater. Like as they're
Right,
about to
right.
like fight, you can hear the rain and the thunder.
Oh
and, like,
my god, the
guy
tension in that scene as
Yeah,
like,
it's like
and you
Ah.
kind of get that feeling of hope to remember this because the elves show up,
Shit.
and I'm like, yes.
like the music. Oh my god, dude.
I was the coolest kid in school the
Or
next
that
day
one
too.
moment right towards the end when Gandalf shows up on the hill.
Dude. Oh my god. I
Yeah.
should go watch those
Yeah.
extended editions.
Oh god, 24
It's about
hours
time.
down the drain right there.
Yeah. My
It's
sister
about time.
My sister and my dad watch all 3 in a row extended editions every Black Friday for the last 5 years.
Really?
It takes like 13 hours. They start at like 9 in the morning and they watch all 3 every year.
Yeah. Teach
Nuts.
them for about 4 hours. It's
Yeah.
great.
But yeah, so that's cool. Let's go to Patrick's topic.
So we're gonna get a little dark here.
Oh,
Guys.
I
We're
read
gonna
this.
talk about
Hmm.
some times where you killed a guy or killed someone in a video game.
Oh, okay.
Just making sure.
Glad you
Even
specified.
especially if you didn't have to.
Does Grand Theft Auto count?
Yes.
It totally counts. It really does.
Yeah.
So like wanted to talk about like what motivated you. What kind of game was it? Was it a game that was like almost promoted it? Like Grand Theft Auto is like almost like you're supposed to get a prostitute and then kill her after you take her in the car.
Get the money back.
Yeah, I mean that's good economics right there. But it's just like, was it a game that you were supposed to be killing people? Like there's a morality system involved, and like, did you personally feel the ramifications, or did your character feel the ramifications? What are some games you guys can think of, real quick?
Are we
I feel like Ian's gonna come out of the blue with like The Wolf Among Us.
I got a couple.
Do you think so like this could easily turn into violence in video games, and why are video games so violent? Why are we so desensitized from them? But I think you're looking for more like your personal reaction to the violent video games that we play.
Yeah, that would be more fun than talking
Yeah.
about how sad violence in video games
I
is.
mean, so what motivated me? I don't like some kind of like. Is it something intrinsic, animalistic that we just enjoy, like the power? Like, because when I think of the
You can say that. It's okay to say that.
I mean, I'm a psychopath, but I didn't want anyone to know that. I mean, when I think about the games, like, as a kid that I played, where I was actually killing a lot of people other than Smash Brothers, they were typically, like, first-person shooters, so your Call of Duties and your Halos, and both of those games have a nice kind of, like a lore that makes it seem more acceptable to mow people down with plasma rifles or guns or whatever.
Right.
So like in Call of Duty, you might be fighting the Nazis, like these horrible people that probably maybe deserve to die. Or in Halo, you're fighting someone who is an alien race that's trying to wipe out the human population. So I think what motivated me was, well, like, one was good gameplay. Two was like, oh, you might have to do your mic thing, Patrick.
Yeah.
Two was, like, the second thing that motivated me was, yeah, fuck yeah, like, we gotta kill these bad guys. So I would think for motivation, I would say that little piece of lore, that kind of, they would try to put into these violent video games to make them seem a little bit more okay. I think that's why Grand Theft Auto got into more trouble, is they didn't really have a
precedence.
A precedence, yeah. Like, there's no reason to just kill these innocent bystanders. So I would say what motivated me was the lore, my power-hungry, animalistic intentions, and
the story.
The story,
or like you said, the lore.
Yeah. And did I feel better for worse after? This is why I'm a psychopath. I felt nothing.
You know what really?
I felt.
You know what you got me thinking about now?
I felt nothing.
Let me ask Ben this. Ben, you finished The Last of Us.
I did.
Did you?
I killed the doctors.
You killed all the doctors?
I killed them all.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
pissed off, bro. I was
my God.
like there was no way I was not killing any person I saw that was not Ellie. Like, I would just guns blazing. I burst into that room.
Our old roommate Nick. Do you want to know what he did? He pulled out the flamethrower.
Oh,
and it's like,
damn it,
wasn't
Nick!
Even like you needed to do that.
He just had to one up me.
You just had, yeah.
Yeah. No, there's a very, like, violence in video games are hand in hand.
Yeah.
But you know what? That actually just got me thinking now about how sometimes you never even consider the ramifications of it. You do it because it's a gameplay mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm fairly certain that Mario single-handedly caused the genocide of multiple types of races inside of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Absolutely.
That sounds so silly to someone who doesn't know anything about video games.
Yeah. Except they know Mario and they're like, genocide.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what the Mushroom Kingdom is.
Right, you think about it, and like, Mario's killed more things in his lifetime than many of these other game protagonists.
He's just a simple plumber, guys. He's just trying to clean out the pipes.
Christian,
right.
Let me ask you, when you played Mass Effect 3, your first run, I imagine it was Paragon.
Yeah.
Did you, what did you do with Kai Lang when did you kill him?
Oh, yeah.
Even you were Paragon? You pulled the Renegade?
Yeah. Oh,
were there any other moments in that game you pulled Renegade?
Oh, God. I feel like there are so many, but I can't remember them at this point. Because I remember there being specific moments in the game where I was just like, no, screw you, you have to die.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, with Paragon, like, I was trying to, like, save Paragon because, like, that's the only way you can, like, save everybody, you know?
Right, and my thing is, like,
but with
you
Kai
get...
Lang,
and this was one of those good things where actually the game really was good, because I remember, was it Thane? Yeah. I was like, this is for Thane, you son of a bitch.
This is for Thane, you fuckers. Like, I saw the red click, I'm like, oh, fuck this dude, you're going down.
Right.
But, I mean, it's just like, that's what I was kind of referring to, like, I mean, games of, like, Infamous, where you were supposed to go in one direction. I was wondering if there were any story moments where, like, you said, all right, well, fuck what I'm supposed to do to, like, get all the power-ups. I'm going to do this because the story is so good.
Right. Right.
I can't
I
think
can't
of
think of any games off the top of my head where I've done that.
There's that's a hard thing to do when you write like, was it did the game punish or reward you for following in a set path? Like, game design is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to think that we're only now I don't like to think. I think that we're only now kind of approaching an era in games where the design is flexible enough to afford players multiple options in terms of killing. Because I would say the vast majority of my childhood was to clear this stage, you eliminate all the enemies in this stage.
Right.
So I think it's a relatively new concept, like punishing and rewarding that tendency.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then you get games like GTA where it's just like, please.
Yeah.
Go for it. Have at it.
Yeah, and then they might punish you by sending the cops after you, but that's like maybe a reward because you get to kill the cops, but I don't know.
Ben, did you ever, did you do anything unfatherly during The Walking Dead season 1?
No.
No?
No.
You never felt any
Dude,
moments where you were...
When you bring the kids in, man, like, that's sacred. Like, you be cool around the kids. So no, I mean, I was straight edge that game. I played it.
I did not keep it cool, man.
What'd you do, man?
I killed both of those farmers.
The farmers. I killed the farmers.
Okay, well then, yeah.
But she didn't see.
Oh, she saw
okay.
Saw both of them. Did you drive the hay thing through him?
Oh, I guess I did, but I don't consider that unfatherly. Like, she needs to know that those guys deserve to die.
And see, that's the thing. Like, you're like,
I'm a psychopath.
That's morally ambiguous, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is like your daughter, and like,
yeah,
you're super pissed because these dudes just tried to eat you. So you're like, fuck that, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And then the other dude, where he's like begging you to kill him, and you're like, either I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah.
Or you can kick him into the electric fence.
But like, I think the example there is like, you wouldn't kill Clementine for the kicks.
No.
No,
it sets up like you should be fatherly, and like there's like when it sets up that shot where you're gonna like do the hay thing, like it like shows Clementine in the picture. So you're supposed to feel guilty, like I see you watching me, and I'm still going to do this.
I wanted her to watch.
This is the conscious, exactly. Like in The Wolf Among Us, like when you've got this dude pinned against a wall after he tried to kill you, he's like, "All right, you got me, da 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 da. Just put me away." And like, no, you just like tear his throat out, and you're like, "I don't give a fuck." And I don't know.
I think, and I think that's kind of like. We're drawn to those scenarios not just because we're weird humans, but also because games are fantasy and we don't get to live that fantasy anywhere but a game.
Absolutely.
So to live that moment in a different way I'm not saying there's any right or wrong way to play games, but you're not totally taking advantage of the opportunity that games are giving you.
Yeah.
Right. Have you guys seen any of the Just Cause 3 gameplay?
I have.
I've heard that's kind of similar to Saints Row. I've seen a little bit.
So you get a fancy grapple hook, and you can tether a man to a building and then retract the rope so it flings the man. Not just anything. You could technically tether a person to anything and retract the rope and see what happens.
Oh, gosh.
So that's one of those situations where you're like, that's a big fuel tank right there. There's a guy who's shooting at me. I'm going to tether him to that and see what happens.
Yeah.
You retract the rope, he runs into it, and he explodes. And it's interesting for everybody involved except for the NPC.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting for all involved.
But, it's one of those things also where they promote it in the mechanics of the game where you're just like, you don't even think about it as like a person. It's more like, well, this guy's causing damage to me. Not even this guy. This thing is causing damage to me. I'm going to kill him in the most entertaining way possible.
Yep. Perfect.
No, like with some Saints Row also does that. There's like that gun that like makes your head explode.
Yeah.
It's like a dildo sword. It's like
yes, there is. It is called the Penetrator.
The Penetrator.
Oh, you had me at dildo sword.
But
I need to play that game.
There are definitely games out there that
and it's not even like a dildo sword. It's like a dildo baseball bat, and it does flop around when you swing it at people.
Yeah, and
which adds to the hilarity.
It's the ridiculousness of that, I think, that like detaches you from the fact that you're doing it to people.
Like when you see the people who are on rollerblades. I don't know if you've seen. I can't remember which Saints Row game it was, but you see them just like walking by, and you just take a swing with the Penetrator, and you just knock them on their ass as they're trying to skate by you. It's just, I don't know,
Perfect.
something gratifying about knocking somebody on their ass with this huge.
I mean, that's not really. I do that in real life, so I don't. It's not like a fantasy
This
appeal.
doesn't impress me.
There's not an
This does
appeal. Like I do things to do in video games that I can't do in real life, Christian. I'm trying to have new experiences. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up because I want to check out that virtual reality thing. Started 3 minutes ago. So all right, that's gonna do it for this episode of The Queue. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Check out new episodes weekly every Monday. We love your feedback and opinions wherever we can get them. Drop us a review on iTunes if you can. Check us out at The Fig TV. I'm already anticipating Christian's Twitter handle.
I'm looking at it.
Check us out at The Fig TV and freebrunch on YouTube, at Fig_TV, at SeaMonkey 2 Eyes, and at I was close, Patrick.
I
and
tried.
I was really close. And at freebrunch on Twitter. Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Have a good one.